All right, hello everyone. Excuse me. Here we go. Hello everyone. All right. This is from last week. But it's all the same Torah. But this is a speech from last week that the Rebbe gave in 1953. So right after he assumed the leadership of Chabad. Let's see where we get over here. No, yeah. Excuse me 1 minute. Just one moment. That's right. Good. Okay. Here it goes. As Vert declared, it is explained. As Vert declared, it is explained in a Maimer Hasidus, in one of the discourses, the Hasidic discourses, why it is exactly that for was haben Yitzchak, why did Yitzchak brachas, the blessings to Yaakov? Remember, Yitzchak wanted to bless Esav, right? Yitzchak had two sons. One was Esav, and twin sons. One was Esav, and one was Yaakov. And Esav was very bad, destructive, evil, used to rape women, steal things, kill, as a murderer. And that was Esav. And Yaakov was very good, but Yitzchak wanted to bless Esav. Okay, the reasons why are not really important now. But the fact is, he wanted to bless Esav. He had really good intentions. He wanted to bless Esav. He thought he could fix him up. But it ended up that Rivka, Yitzchak's wife, realized that it wouldn't work that way. And so let me just move this over here. And so she told her son, Yaakov, who was a very mild-mannered sort of person, he would never have done this thing on his own, that he should dress up in the garments of Esav and also put hair on his arms and bring his father food and say that he was Esav. Fool his father. He had to trick his father. This is bemirma, with trickery, with deceit. And it worked. And he got the blessings. So it's asked the question, why did he have to get the blessings with mirma, with trickery? Taka b'chachmas Torah. It says we can understand that you have to be clever, you have to be this. Over der chilek was vert angeruf and mirma. But that thing, to be smart, you have to be smart. To be clever, it's a good thing to be clever. But to lie, where does that come out? You're not allowed to lie according to the Torah. Weil de inyanim seinen angekommen bemirma, because the main blessing came from, and it says mirma. Mirma means treachery. Then it's perfidy. The nitzutz is from kedusha, the sparks of holiness, vazayin and were fallen below durch them the nachash arum, because it says the snake was clever, as therefore their seder of tzunemet by zay tzurik. Therefore, in order to get them back, oich is das oif and b'mirma, it has to be with trickery. Via state, like it says, ikesh tit patel. It says in Psalms. So in other words, Yaakov, the only way you could get the snake, the serpent, lied to Chava. He said, the day that you eat from it, you won't die. You won't bring death into the world. And he tricked her. And so therefore, Yaakov had to fix it up. In fact, that was the whole purpose of the Jewish people, was to fix up the sin. If Adam had not sinned, there wouldn't be any death in the world. People would live forever. Oh, excuse me. People would live forever. That was the way man was created. He was supposed to live forever. So the serpent, by means of this treachery, he got himself into the Chava to think that he was her good friend and he was only doing for her benefit. So he brought death into the world. So the job of the Jewish people, begun by Abraham, Yitzchak, but especially Yaakov, was to get the blessings back. Darmit, so now we can understand We can also understand what Rivka had geheißen Yaakov said to Yaakov, that he should go and get the blessings, and hat him get the traced, and she like warned him, traced Oyebes vet zayin chas v'shalom a klala, and if she promised, if there will be a curse, as vet z doesn't have. She said, if there will be a curse for what you're doing, because it could be that when your father discovers that you tricked him, as he'll take back the blessing that he gave you, and he'll give you a curse, or maybe he won't even bless you. If he catches on early, then maybe he'll curse you in the beginning. She said, don't worry about it. I'll accept the curse on me. Alai kalalas chabani. Upon me will be your curse. In Plug, at first glance, is vos for a trace. Is this what type of a trust, a promise? It's a trace, a promise. What type of a promise is this? A promise is azun befrat, azun v'Yaakov, a son, especially a son like Jacob, like Yaakov, darfim Aaron for them mutter. He's supposed to care for his mother. V is vos for ba baroikenes answer. What type of an answer is this? That she says, don't worry about it. I'm going to worry for you. When mir zenedach as this gepoiled by Yaakov, we see that it worked. What's she going to say? Yaakov, don't worry about it. If you get cursed, I'm going to take the curse. Yaakov could have said, what type of a thing is that? I don't want you to get cursed, Mom. I'm not going to go do the whole thing. Let me just have one short look at this here. Right. Here it says the word betrayed means that she calmed him down. Okay, so but basically that's the same thing. What happened? She said, go to my husband Yitzchak, he's blind. Pretend that you're Esav, and if he curses you, you don't have to worry about it because I'll take the curse on myself. So what type of a thing is that? Yaakov should have said, listen, I don't want anybody to get cursed, not me and not you. How is that any sort of a comfort or a trust that she's trusting him to give him? Says the Rebbe, well, the fact of the matter is, as we see that Yaakov in fact went. He said, okay, I'll go. Okay, so we see two interesting things. Number one, Yaakov got the blessings by means of trickery. Number two, it was a matter of danger. It was a dangerous thing. He has to risk his life in order to do it. Nor their union is like this. Yaakov is gegleichen, so Adam Rishon. It says that Yaakov was like Adam. He had to wait 2,000, whatever it is, 2,000, 100 years, something, in order for Yaakov to come and fix up the sin of the tree of knowledge. So Yaakov, Jacob, he was similar to Adam. And he came to fix up the sin of Adam. We declared, like it's explained in Kabbalah, in books of Jewish Kabbalah, secret Jewish mysticism. Was Adam Harishon, the first man, had Dr. Nachash Genumen Bemirma, which just as the first man was tricked because of the snake serpent, as therefore is Kadeas Mitzakandan, in order to fix this up, as un Bavarnan, as the brachos, to make sure that the blessings should not go to Esav, had Yaakov had to take them back by trickery. Take them a trickery. In a short way, it goes like this. A summary. Da nemt men azoy zach un far azoy ort. Excuse me. This is all right. Here we are taking okay, this whole thing is taken from such a high place. Was is hecher from seichel? It's above understanding. Or the nidruch seichel, or we can say below understanding. Via says given like it was the sin of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When Adam ate from the tree of good and evil, he threw his intellect away. And if he would have let his intellect work for 1 minute, then it would have lifted him up and he wouldn't have eaten this tree. Or there's another way of throwing away your intellect, is that when you want to do something that's above understanding, like self-sacrifice, for something good. So if you think about it, then you won't do it. Because thinking about it, you'll come to all sorts of reasons why not. Maybe I should wait. Maybe it says, therefore, dein bar mekabel oich sein a pasuk kli the Kabbalah. If you want to fix this sin up, so you have to and receive the blessing. So you have to have a proper vessel to fix up the sin, not intellect und Verstand, not intellect or understanding, nor a tenua from Mesiras Nefesh. It has to be a way of self-sacrifice. In other words, Adam, when he ate from the tree, he threw his intellect away. He disregarded everything. He just did what he wanted. In order to fix that up, you also have to throw your intellect away, but not just to do whatever you want, but to do what God wants. That means a way of self-sacrifice. You're willing, even the person is willing even to risk his life to do what God wants, even though it doesn't make any sense. Einstellen sich, you have to you say, excuse me one second. That's right. You have to take a stand. Und das is was Rivka, and that's what Rivka said. Alai kalalas chabeni, the curse will come off of me. Sie geht oif dem oich und adarabba. She also went in order to get the blessing back from Esav. Because what would happen if Esav would have gotten the blessing from his father? He would have increased evil in the world, would have given more power to do destructive things. And that would have would have further brought the curse of Adam into the world. Bad enough that there's death, afterlife. Esav would have made it that life itself would be full of death. It would be full of just selfishness. The Zach mont und nimmt sich nor davka durch Mesiras Nefesh. In order to fix up the tree, the sin of the tree of knowledge, so it requires self-sacrifice. You want to fight against death. The only way to fight against death is by being willing to risk your life. By being willing to risk your life. What's the big thing about death? Death exists, but the people are so afraid of death, is that sometimes forces them to do things which are against the Torah. Right? They become depressed, they become crazy, they go, this life is meaningless because death affects them so deeply, and so people can become unhappy. When a person is unhappy, then he can do all the sins in the world. The only way to do away with this unhappiness that was brought about by death is with self-sacrifice, to ignore death. It can't be by means of any sort of logic. So the answer is the answer that Rivka said, I'm willing to receive the punishment. If there's any curse, I'll take it on myself. So this also affected the same thing on Yaakov, her son. And he said, okay, Mom, I see. If you're willing to be self-sacrificing, then I'm willing to build self-sacrifices as well and receive the curse. This is also the way to learn Torah. Torah has to be with total self-sacrifice, like the rabbis say about Yitzchak and the blessings that Yitzchak gave to Yaakov. He said, Mital Hashemayim u'mishmenei ha'oretz v'rov degon v'tirosh. That's the blessing that he gave. From the dew of heaven, Yitzchak blessed Yaakov. And he said, from the dew of heaven and from the fat of the earth, he said, from the dew of the heaven, says in the Midrash, this refers to the Mikra, to the written Torah. Mishmei Oretz, this is written to the Mishnah. Dagan, Dagan is like wheat, rye. This is Talmud. Tirosh is wine. This is Agada. These are the secrets of the Torah. Durach and Ofen, in other words, these blessings that Yitzchak did in fact give to Yaakov, these transformed to the blessings that we have now for learning Torah. Durach and ofen, from a way of mirma de kedusha, the chachma, a Torah. This is by means of using your mind, instead of using your mind for the natural things that your mind wants to, you use your mind to understand ideas of Torah. You, so to speak, trick your own selfish impulses, as by means of this you can come to a higher level than before, something which is even above death. The Rebbe, like the Rebbe said in his mimer, that he said, as the kavanah, that the intention is to transform the foolishness, the destructiveness, self-destructiveness of this world, of the bad, to shtus to kedusha, to constructiveness for holiness. Both of them are without understanding. Destructiveness is below understanding, and true constructiveness, to be let God control the world, that's above understanding. That's what Rivka convinced her son Yaakov to do, and that has to be done with trickery. We're in the world as in order to really transform darkness into light, is you have to deal with the darkness and to transform it. Durach mahapach zayin, by means of transforming the foolishness of this world, is by means of that you come to something tremendously high, that through your service of God, above understanding, you'll be able to inspire even your service according to understanding, learning Torah, raising a family, having a job, transforming the world on the world's terms. Barum, because men kum tzutzu, because we come to a level of holiness, was this hecher which is higher than any sort of understanding. So that's what he's saying. Why did the blessings of Yitzchak to come to Yaakov by means of trickery? So this is because what is trickery essentially? Trickery is that you throw away, to a certain degree, you throw away intellect and you fool yourself. You fool your selfish, evil impulses, and you transform everything to holiness. That's a crazy thing. That's a crazy thing to do, to live your whole life and transform this world to holiness. If a person wants to go to heaven, that makes sense. This world is a very false world. All the pleasures you get from this world are only temporary. So I want to go to heaven and get permanent, eternal pleasures. That makes sense. You believe you want to make an investment for something eternal. But to serve God in such a way where you throw away all thought of any reward, to the point you're even worried about getting a curse, and getting cursed, exactly the opposite, is that's a thing that requires tremendous self-sacrifice. And self-sacrifice is the only way to take the misplaced blessings that are in the world, the richness and the pleasure and the power, things that are in this world. Those are the blessings of Esav, and to transform them to holiness, that they should be used only to serve God. In order to do that, it requires self-sacrifice, and it requires a certain degree of tricking your own selfish impulses. Have a good day with Moshiach now, God willing. Tomorrow morning, 8:15, we continue.